Hey everyone, welcome back to Speak Up. It honestly feels amazing to have you with us again. Whether you're at home, relaxing, commuting to work, cooking dinner, or just taking a walk, thank you for pressing play. We're here with another episode to help you grow your English step by step. And if this is your very first time joining us, welcome to the Speak Up family. We're a podcast dedicated to helping real people become more fluent, confident, and natural in their daily English conversations. And we do it in a way that feels relaxed and friendly, like two people just sitting and talking. So wherever you are and whatever you're doing right now, we're really glad you're here.
And before we dive into today's phrases, I have one small request. Please take a second to subscribe to our channel. I know everyone says this, but it really does matter to us. We don't have a big team or a fancy studio. It's just us showing up, writing, recording, and sharing this podcast with love. And your support makes all the difference. It's free, it's simple, and it helps more people like you discover Speak Up. So please, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and maybe even share this with a friend who's also learning English. We're all in this together, and you are truly a part of this journey with us.
Now let's talk about today's episode, because it's going to be packed with value. We're sharing 150 of the most common English phrases used in everyday life. That's right, 150 phrases, all in one episode. These aren't random textbook expressions no one really uses. These are real phrases you'll hear in daily conversations, in cafes, on the street, in messages, at work, or while traveling. Our goal is to give you natural, practical language that you can start using immediately. You'll get phrases for greetings, small talk, asking for help, making plans, expressing emotions, dealing with everyday situations, and more.
And what makes today's episode special is that many of these phrases are just a little more advanced. They're not difficult, but they'll help you sound more fluent, more like a native speaker. If you've ever wondered how to sound more confident in English or how to respond naturally when someone speaks to you, this episode is for you. We've organized everything into clear sections so you can follow along easily. So grab your notebook if you like, or just relax and listen. Let's begin and help you speak up in English with confidence.
So let's start with something we all need: greetings and introductions. These are the very first words that help us connect with someone. And honestly, they set the tone for how the conversation will go. Imagine you see someone you know. You might say, "Hey, what's going on?" It sounds friendly, casual, and open. Or you could say, "How's everything?" It shows you care. These little expressions carry emotion, even when they're short. One of my personal favorites is, "It's great to see you." Simple, but powerful. It tells the other person you're happy they're there. These are the phrases that make people feel welcomed and remembered.
Yes, and it's so important to feel confident when introducing yourself. Let's say you're meeting someone for the first time. You can say, "I don't think we've met before." It's polite and easy, no pressure. Or imagine walking into a new place, maybe a class or a club, just saying, "I'm new around here," can start a real conversation. And if you're trying to join a group already talking, instead of awkward silence, try, "Mind if I join you?" It's respectful and inviting. Honestly, these phrases help you feel less nervous and more included because they open the door to connection.
Exactly. And when the other person replies, you might want to keep things going. A natural next question could be, "What brings you here?" It works in so many situations: a party, an event, even online. It shows you're interested. Another nice one is, "I've heard a lot about you." This adds a friendly tone, and it makes people feel known, even if it's your first time meeting. Then there's, "I've been looking forward to meeting you." That one adds warmth. It shows that meeting them wasn't random, it was something you actually wanted. These phrases are short, but they leave a strong impression.
I love that, Ryan. And when you finally meet someone, it's really nice to say something like, "I'm glad we finally met." It adds emotion and closeness. Sometimes you're not sure how to address someone. Just ask, "What should I call you?" It's respectful and avoids mistakes. And if you enjoyed the interaction, say something like, "Let's stay in touch." It feels genuine. I think one of the most underrated ones is, "It's been a while." It instantly reconnects you with someone you haven't seen in a long time. It reminds them that they matter and that you remember.
Yeah, and don't forget location-based conversations. You might ask, "Are you from around here?" It's an easy, low-pressure way to start chatting. Whether it's a stranger at a bus stop or someone new at work, this phrase works almost anywhere. It's neutral, but it opens the door to learning more about the other person. I've actually used it at the gym, in coffee shops, you name it. And then, if the vibe is good, it's completely normal to say something like, "Let's grab a coffee sometime." Super neutral. Not too formal, not too casual, just right.
And honestly, learning just these few phrases gives you so much power in social situations. You don't need to memorize big speeches. Just knowing how to say, "Hey, what's going on?" or "Mind if I join you?" with the right tone can build trust. English isn't about being perfect. It's about being present and real. When people feel your energy and kindness, they respond. So next time you're around someone new, just take a breath, smile, and try one of these lines. You might be surprised at how quickly things open up.
That's so true. It's funny how something so small, just one phrase, can completely change how someone sees you. It shows confidence, even if your English isn't perfect. And here's the cool part. The more you use these, the more natural they feel. You'll start building your own rhythm. You'll hear people say these things back to you. And slowly, English will feel less like something you're learning and more like something you're living. That's what we want for you, to feel that comfort in every conversation.
So just remember, introductions don't have to be stressful. Whether it's a stranger, a new classmate, a coworker, or someone you bump into again after a long time, these 15 phrases are your toolkit. They're friendly, they're flexible, and they're used every single day. If you can master these, you're already halfway there. And don't worry if it feels awkward the first few times. It's totally normal. Keep practicing them in your daily life, even if it's just in front of a mirror, and soon they'll feel completely natural.
Okay, let's talk about something we all face, needing help. No matter how confident or independent we are, there are moments when we just can't figure something out alone. And in those moments, being able to ask for help in English, clearly and politely, is a real skill. One of the simplest things you can say is, "Could you help me out for a second?" It's casual, respectful, and shows you're only asking for a moment. Another one I use often is, "I'm a bit stuck, can you assist?" It's slightly more formal, but still friendly. These phrases are useful at work, school, when traveling, basically anywhere. You're not only asking for help, but also building trust when you ask the right way.
Exactly. And sometimes we don't know what words to use, so we hesitate, but just saying something like, "Would you happen to know how this works?" is such a soft and natural way to ask. It's polite and curious. Or you can say, "Do you mind giving me a hand with this?" That one works really well when something physical is involved, like carrying bags, fixing something, or even setting up a table. It shows you're not demanding anything, you're just inviting a little support. And then when someone agrees to help, it's important to say something like, "That would be really helpful, thank you." A small phrase, but it carries a lot of warmth.
And now let's flip the situation. Let's say you are the one helping. It feels great to be able to offer support in a confident way. You can say, "I'd be more than happy to help." That one feels very positive and professional. Or sometimes you might just jump in and say, "Let me take care of that for you." It's calm, proactive, and shows leadership. I've used this phrase a lot in group work or when someone's stressed out. And even if the task seems small, saying, "No worries, I've got this," can really comfort someone. You're not just helping, you are giving peace of mind.
Yes, and I think kindness lives in these little phrases. Sometimes we don't even realize how much it means to someone. A small line like, "It's the least I can do," makes the other person feel appreciated, like they're not a burden. And when they thank you, just saying, "Don't mention it," or "You've been a big help," keeps the energy light and friendly. I've had moments where someone helped me in a rush and I didn't know what to say, but hearing "Don't mention it" made me feel okay. It's not just language, it's connection.
And you know, sometimes we need to lean on people we trust. You might ask, "Can I count on you?" It's deeper than just asking for help. It shows you value that person. Or you can keep it gentle and say, "Is there anything else you need?" Especially when you're trying to show care or follow up after helping someone. These phrases go beyond just getting something done. They show reliability. They build friendships. Even in English, where people value independence, knowing how to offer or ask for support in the right tone is a superpower.
I completely agree. Sometimes you just want to show that you're present and available without making a big deal out of it. So you can simply say, "Let me know if you need anything." It's open-ended, relaxed, and sincere. You don't have to push. You're just saying, "I'm here for you." And when someone does take the time to support you or give you guidance, it's nice to finish with something like, "I appreciate you taking the time." That line is especially meaningful when someone's busy. Gratitude expressed in clear words, it leaves a beautiful impression.
That last one really hits, Priya, because let's be honest, time is the most valuable thing we have. And when someone gives us their time or energy, even for something small, it deserves thanks. One thing I've noticed is that the way we ask for help can either open or close the door. If you sound demanding or rushed, people hesitate. But when you speak calmly, kindly, and clearly, like with the phrases we just shared, people are usually happy to help. And you start building better conversations, better relationships.
Yes, and the more you use these phrases, the more they become part of you. You don't need to memorize them word for word. Just listen, absorb, and try them out in your daily life. The next time you're confused at the grocery store, or you need directions, or you want to assist someone who looks overwhelmed, you'll know exactly what to say. Asking for help and offering it are basic human things. They connect us and they make communication real. And you, yes, you, listening, already have what it takes to use these naturally.
Let's be honest, making plans in English can sometimes feel awkward if you don't know what to say. You don't want to sound too formal, but also not too casual. So having a few go-to phrases makes things so much easier. One of my favorites is, "Do you want to catch up sometime this week?" It's warm, open-ended, and works with friends or coworkers. If you're trying to fix a specific day, you can say something like, "Are you free for dinner on Friday?" It's simple and clear. And once the other person agrees, I love using the phrase, "Let's pencil that in." It's casual but organized, like saying, "Let's plan it for now and we can confirm later."
I use that one too. And sometimes, even if you really want to meet someone, life gets in the way. That's when I usually say, "I'd love to, but I'm tied up that day." It's such a kind and respectful way to say you're busy without sounding cold. And then to keep things positive, you can immediately follow with, "Could we reschedule?" It shows you still care. It keeps the invitation alive. And if you're not sure about your plans, just say, "Let me double check my calendar." You're not rejecting them. You're just being honest and thoughtful about your time. That honesty makes a huge difference.
Exactly. And once both people are ready to go ahead, it's nice to confirm things in a fun way. You can say, "Sounds like a plan." It's cheerful and enthusiastic, like you're both excited. Or "Let's make it happen," which is more driven and energetic. These short phrases add so much life to your conversations. And then there's "I'm totally up for it." That one's casual, friendly, and shows you're in the mood. I often use that when someone suggests a last-minute hangout or even something spontaneous like grabbing coffee or going for a walk. It makes the other person feel like you're excited to see them, and that's such a nice feeling to give.
But of course, sometimes you really can't make it. And that's okay too. You can say, "Sorry, I have other commitments." It's honest and polite. No need to over-explain. Then if you want to keep the door open, just say, "I'll let you know by tomorrow." It gives you space, but also keeps communication flowing. Another one I like is, "Just send me the details." It shows you're ready to go. You just need the time or location confirmed. It's efficient and friendly. These tiny phrases really smooth things out, especially when you're juggling a busy schedule.
And once everything is set, don't be afraid to add a little charm. You can say, "It's a date." Can be playful and fun, even if you're just meeting a friend or coworker. It adds a light, happy tone to the plan. You're saying, "Yes, this is real and I'm excited." I also love ending messages or calls with, "I'm looking forward to it already." That line carries real warmth. It makes the other person feel appreciated, like their time with you actually matters. And honestly, those kinds of phrases build stronger relationships without needing big emotional speeches. Just little, real lines that say, I care.
Yes, because making plans isn't just about fixing a time. It's about the emotional invitation. You're saying, hey, I want to spend time with you. And the way you say it matters. Whether it's casual, professional, or somewhere in between, these phrases let you express interest without pressure. They also make you sound more fluent, more confident, because fluency isn't about using complicated vocabulary, it's about using the right words for the moment. And that's exactly what these planning phrases give you: confidence, clarity, and a human connection.
Honestly, I've seen this in real life. When someone learns just 5 or 6 of these phrases, their conversations open up. It becomes easier to text a colleague, set up a meeting, or make plans with a friend without second-guessing every word. You stop feeling nervous about sounding awkward. You just talk, naturally, and you start realizing that English isn't just a language for studying, it's a language for living, planning, laughing, and making real memories. These phrases are small, but they carry big impact.
That's so well said, Ryan. And for everyone listening, I really want you to try using one of these phrases this week. Even if it's just messaging a friend to say, hey, are you free for dinner on Friday? Or let's make it happen. Do it. Use it. Speak it. The more you try it, the more natural it becomes. And the more natural it feels, the more your confidence grows. You don't need a perfect accent or perfect grammar, just courage, kindness, and these simple, powerful lines. You've got this.
Next, let's talk about something we all do every single day: expressing how we feel and what we think. Whether it's in a serious conversation or just chatting with a friend, knowing how to express your opinion clearly is so important. One phrase I use a lot is, honestly, I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's calm, thoughtful, and gives you space when you're unsure. Another one is, that's just my 2 cents. That's a very natural way to share your opinion without sounding like you're forcing it. And if you want to show that you're listening and respecting someone else's view, just say, I see your point. Short, respectful, and powerful.
Exactly. And sometimes you fully agree with someone, and it feels great to express that clearly. You can say something like, that makes total sense. Or when you really agree, say, I couldn't agree more. It's strong but friendly. But what if you don't fully agree? That's where phrases like, I'm not convinced, come in. It's polite but shows honesty. I also love using, it's a bit complicated, to be honest. It's such a soft way to say, this isn't simple, without starting an argument. These little emotional tools let you express yourself clearly, kindly, and naturally.
And then there are those moments when you really don't know what to think. That's when I say, I'm torn on this one. It means your heart is in 2 places, and it shows vulnerability, which actually makes you more relatable. But emotions aren't just about conflict or confusion. Sometimes they're full of joy. Like when someone does something thoughtful for you and you say, that really made my day. Or when you're super happy about something, you can say, I'm beyond excited. That phrase is so expressive. It tells people, this matters to me. These moments help others understand you on a deeper level.
And sometimes emotions aren't all happy or balanced. Some days you just feel a lot. That's when you can say, I'm feeling overwhelmed. It's honest and it lets people know you need a little space or support. Or when things keep going wrong, just saying, that's so frustrating, can help release some of the stress. These phrases give you room to be human, and that's the heart of communication. You don't need perfect grammar, you just need to say what's real. These little lines can create deep connection because everyone understands what it means to feel joy, confusion, or pressure.
Absolutely. And when something amazing happens, when you're overjoyed, you might say, I'm on cloud 9. It's such a poetic way to say I'm incredibly happy. On the flip side, there are moments of doubt.
And that's where I'm having second thoughts fits in. It doesn't mean you've decided against something, it just shows you're rethinking, which is a natural part of life. And then there are those rare moments when something touches you deeply, a speech, a song, a gesture, and you say, that gave me chills. That phrase is emotional and vivid. It shows how powerful words, music, or actions can be.
I love that one. That gave me chills. I use it when I watch something emotional or inspiring. It really tells people, this moment hit me. I also think phrases like these make your English feel more alive. You're not just talking, you're feeling, and that makes conversations unforgettable. Even something as simple as, I'm torn on this one, can open up such honest dialogue. These aren't dramatic or over-the-top expressions. They're natural, mature, and very real. If you want to connect with people emotionally, these are the kinds of phrases that help.
Right, and the more you practice them, the more they become part of your voice. Don't be afraid to use them even if you're still learning. Just saying, that makes total sense, or I'm not convinced at the right time shows confidence and clarity. People won't just hear your English, they'll hear you, your personality, your energy, your emotions. And that's what makes language beautiful. So if something moves you, if something confuses you, if something excites you, now you have the phrases to express it.
So take a moment and ask yourself, what's one emotion you've been feeling lately? And how would you say it in English? Use these phrases. Say them out loud. Practice them in the mirror. Or whisper them to yourself during the day. Start to own them, because the more you can express what you feel, the more people will connect with you, not just as an English speaker, but as a human being. And honestly, that's what makes communication truly powerful.
Now again, let's be honest. Sometimes in conversation, we don't understand everything, and that's totally okay. What matters is how we respond in those moments. One of the best things you can say is, could you clarify that a bit more? It sounds smart, respectful, and shows you're engaged. Another one I often use is, what's the best way to say this, especially when I'm trying to find the right words? It shows you care about communication. And if you're still not sure, just say, can you walk me through that again? This phrase is so helpful in learning or work situations. It invites patience and support without sounding embarrassed or weak.
Yes, and I love that you're making space for those moments of confusion, Ryan, because we all feel that way sometimes. I personally say, I'm not quite following when something doesn't make sense to me. It's honest and polite. Or if you didn't hear something clearly, you can simply ask, would you mind repeating that? That line is so respectful, and 99% of the time, people are happy to repeat. Another good one is, what exactly do you mean by that? It's calm but direct. It helps you dig deeper without sounding defensive. These phrases show curiosity, not confusion, and that makes all the difference.
Exactly. And sometimes the problem isn't even the idea. It's just that the words are totally new. That's when you can say, I've never heard that before. It's a great way to invite explanation without feeling lost. Or maybe you're struggling with pronunciation. Try asking, how do you pronounce this? Simple, direct, and super useful. These little phrases are especially helpful if you're in an English class, watching a video, or learning from someone. You're showing that you want to learn. And trust me, people respect that. Asking doesn't make you look weak, it makes you look focused.
And it works the other way too. Sometimes you're the one being asked something and you're not totally sure what to say. In that moment, it's perfectly okay to respond with, I'm not sure how to respond. It's real. It gives you time to breathe and think. Or if the person's question catches you off guard, just say, that's a good question. It shows appreciation, even if you don't have the answer yet. And when you need more time, say, I'll have to think about it. It's calm, thoughtful, and respectful. English isn't about rushing. It's about choosing the right words at the right time, and that takes practice.
You know, some questions just aren't easy to answer, and that's when I say, that's tricky to explain.
It tells the other person that you're thinking and that the idea might be a little complex. Or when the question really challenges you, it's okay to say, that's a tough one. You're not avoiding the answer, you're just showing that it's not black and white. These expressions help you slow the conversation down, and that's something a lot of English learners forget. You can take your time, you can think. You don't have to answer instantly to sound fluent. Sometimes the pause shows confidence.
That's such a good point. And I think one of the most powerful lines you can say when you don't have a ready answer is, let me get back to you on that. It shows that you respect the question and the person asking it. You're not brushing them off. You're just saying, give me a little time and I'll answer properly. That line works at work, in interviews, or even just in friendly chats. It's a mature way to handle uncertainty. And again, it proves that fluency isn't always fast. Sometimes it's thoughtful, and thoughtful communication, that's real fluency.
You're right, Priya. What I love about all these phrases is that they give you permission to ask, to pause, to think. So many learners worry they'll sound silly if they don't understand something right away. But in reality, using lines like, would you mind repeating that? Or how do you pronounce this? Actually shows strength. You're choosing clarity over confusion. You're choosing connection over fear. And once you get comfortable asking these questions, your English becomes more powerful because it becomes real.
So true. And to everyone listening, you are allowed to ask questions. You are allowed to say, wait, I'm not quite following, or let me think about that. These aren't signs of weakness, they're signs of growth. These 15 phrases are your tools. Use them when something's unclear. Use them when you need more time. Use them when you care enough to get it right. That's how you grow. That's how you build fluency with heart, with clarity, and with confidence. And we're here to keep helping you every step of the way.
Let's face it, whether you're traveling, shopping, or eating out, these are the kinds of moments where you need English the most. You're dealing with real people, real time, and sometimes real pressure. So let's start with shopping. One phrase I use all the time is, do you take credit cards? Because you never want to assume. It's short, simple, and saves time. And once you've paid, always remember to ask, can I get a receipt, please? It's polite and practical. And if you're looking for deals, just ask, is this on sale? That one can save you money, and it's a perfectly normal question anywhere in the world.
Absolutely. And if you're shopping for more than one item, a confident phrase is, I'll take 2 of these. It shows clarity and you'll sound like a fluent speaker. But sometimes you're just browsing, and that's when you can say, I'm just comparing prices. That line tells the seller that you're not ready to buy, but you're still interested. It also helps avoid any pressure. And if you walk into a shop or restaurant and it's unclear when they close, just ask, what are your opening hours? It's polite and practical, and it helps you plan better, especially when you're traveling.
Now let's move to food, because dining is one of the best ways to experience a new culture. And even in your own city, you might have a favorite place. That's where a phrase like, I'll have the usual, comes in. It tells the server you're a regular, and it makes things smoother. But if you're trying something new, say at a fancy restaurant, you can ask, can I see the wine list? That's a classy and respectful way to explore your options. And when your food arrives, don't forget to say, everything looks delicious. It's polite, warm, and makes the atmosphere more pleasant.
Yes, and while food can bring joy, sometimes you need to be extra careful. If you have allergies, you must speak up. Say something like, I'm allergic to peanuts. It's clear, direct, and could literally protect your life. And when you're dining with friends, there's often the money question. In that case, you can ask, could we get separate checks? It's a common request in many countries and avoids confusion at the table. These little phrases might seem small, but they make your experience smoother and help you feel more confident in unfamiliar places.
Now let's shift to travel, because even just asking for directions or help in English can make your trip a lot less stressful. One phrase I always use is, how far is it from here? Especially when I'm walking or figuring out public transport. Another one that's super handy is it within walking distance? That's a great way to find out whether you really need a taxi or if it's doable on foot.
These phrases help you stay safe, plan better, and avoid surprises. And they also make you feel a little more in control when you're in a new city or country.
Yes, and when you're booking transport, like a train or plane, little details matter. For example, I'd like a window seat if possible. That one's so helpful, especially if you get motion sickness or just love the view. It's polite, and most people will do their best to help you. And after a nice meal or when you're short on time, another great phrase is, "Can I have this wrapped to go?" It works perfectly when you want to take leftovers with you. Honestly, it's these small, real-world sentences that help you live in English, not just study it.
Exactly. And here's the cool part. The more you use these in daily life, the more fluent you sound without even trying. Instead of panicking in a store or fumbling at a cafe, you'll just say the right thing. That's the kind of fluency we're helping you build. These aren't big, dramatic phrases. They're real, useful, and used everywhere. Whether you're asking, "Is this on sale?" or telling someone, "I'm allergic to peanuts," you're speaking English that matters. That's what we want for you. English that helps you live more freely.
And to everyone listening, remember, these situations will come up. Whether you're in your hometown or visiting another country, you will shop, eat out, and travel. So don't just listen. Try these phrases in real life. Say them out loud. Practice them when you're watching travel videos, ordering food, or even just planning your day. Every time you use them, you build more confidence. And the more confident you are, the more you enjoy the moment, in English and in life.
Now, we have seen a lot of phrases, but let's be honest, most of our conversations today happen online or on the phone. And that's why these phrases are so important. You might miss a call, and in that case, a super simple line is, "Sorry, I missed your call." It's polite and shows that you noticed. Then you can follow up with something like, "I'll text you in a bit." That keeps the conversation moving without pressure. And when you do want to talk quickly, just ask, "Can we hop on a quick call?" It sounds professional but friendly, perfect for work, friends, or even study partners.
I love how natural those lines feel, Ryan. I also use "just checking in" a lot. It's great when you want to say hi, see how someone's doing, or follow up without sounding too formal. And if you're stuck in traffic or behind schedule, "I'm running a little late" is the kind of line that keeps communication respectful. No excuses, just honest. Then there's "let me know when you're free." That one opens the door for future connection without pushing. These phrases really help you stay connected with people, even if you're far apart or busy with your own schedule.
Exactly. And when you're waiting to talk or meet someone online, just say, "Ping me when you're online." It's casual and tech-friendly, especially for apps like Zoom, Skype, or even WhatsApp. If something goes wrong and your message doesn't arrive, just say, "How message didn't go through." It's helpful and keeps things smooth. And when the call gets silent, you might ask, "Are you still there?" It's a small question, but it can save a lot of awkward confusion. These tiny phrases keep digital communication clear and comfortable, even when tech isn't perfect.
So true. And sometimes when timing isn't right, a phrase like "let's reconnect later" can be so helpful. It shows you want to continue, just not right now. Then when you're ready to share something, a video, a document, a meeting invite, just say, "I'll send you the link." It's simple, efficient, and we use it all the time. And if you're working remotely or giving a presentation, you might hear or say, "Can you share your screen?" That phrase makes digital collaboration easy and smooth, and using it naturally makes you sound like a confident communicator.
I totally relate. And you know what happens sometimes? You're in the middle of a conversation and suddenly you have to step away. That's when a phrase like, "I'm in a meeting right now," really helps. It sets a boundary without being rude. Or if you just need to pause and return later, "talk to you in a few" is short and perfect. It lets the other person know you'll be back soon. These short lines are more than just words. They show that you're organized, respectful, and present. That matters so much in both personal and professional spaces.
Exactly. And sometimes you don't need a long reply. Just saying, "Thanks for the update," can go a long way. It shows you read the message, you care, and you appreciate the effort, even if it's just a quick status report or a schedule change. These simple, friendly digital phrases help you stay human in a world that's becoming more and more virtual. And when your words sound natural, your relationships, whether personal or work-related, feel more real, more connected, and more respectful.
Honestly, learning these kinds of short, real phrases has made my online communication so much easier. Instead of worrying about grammar or sounding too formal, I just focus on being clear and kind. Phrases like sorry, I missed your call, or let me know when you're free are easy to remember, but they help you speak English that feels natural, not robotic. And when people feel like you're speaking from the heart, not just from a textbook, they respond so much better.
Yes, and to everyone listening, just remember texting, calling, emailing. These are things we do every day. And when you learn these phrases, you don't just improve your English, you make your everyday life smoother. Try them out, type them, say them, make them part of how you communicate. Because when your English sounds like the real world, people understand you faster and trust you more. You're not just learning phrases, you're learning connection.
Let's be real. No matter how good your English is, there will be times when you need to say sorry or show appreciation. It's just part of being human. One phrase I use a lot is, sorry, that was my mistake. It's honest, direct, and mature. And when you need to be a little more formal, like in a work email or a serious moment, you can say, please accept my apology. That one really shows sincerity. And if you accidentally speak over someone, just say, I didn't mean to interrupt. It's respectful and it instantly softens the situation. These kinds of phrases help keep relationships strong even during awkward moments.
Absolutely, Ryan. And I love that these phrases aren't just about apologizing, they're about showing grace. Like when something goes wrong, but it wasn't on purpose, just say, that wasn't intentional. It's such a gentle way to explain yourself. On the other side, when someone has been calm and patient with you, a really warm line is, you've been incredibly patient. Thank you. That one always touches people. Or when someone gives you space or forgives a mistake, just say, thanks for your understanding. These phrases are small, but they carry so much emotional weight.
So true. And sometimes a simple thank you just doesn't feel like enough. That's when I like to say, much appreciated. It's short, but powerful. Or for deeper gratitude, try saying, I can't thank you enough. That one hits different. It really shows how much someone's action meant to you. And when someone compliments you or does something extra kind, I love saying, you're too kind. It's humble and it returns the warmth. These phrases help you stay connected, not just through language, but through kindness.
Exactly. And sometimes you just want to end a conversation or even a short meeting on a positive note. That's when I like to say, it's been a pleasure. Whether it's a customer, a stranger, or even a friend, it adds a layer of respect and calm. And if someone helped you out in a big or small way, don't hesitate to say, I owe you one. It's casual but sincere, and it makes the other person feel appreciated. And then there's, that's very thoughtful of you. It's such a lovely phrase. It acknowledges effort, and that makes people feel seen.
Right. And when someone does something kind, one of the best follow-up phrases is, let me return the favor. It shows you're not just thankful, you want to give back. That creates real connection. Another polite line, especially in professional settings, is thank you for your time. It respects their schedule and it's perfect at the end of a call, meeting, or interview. And finally, there's one that I use when I really want to be clear that I truly mean it. I really mean it, thank you. That phrase leaves no doubt in their mind. It turns a simple thanks into a heartfelt moment.
You know, I think what makes these polite phrases so powerful is that they come from a place of care. Whether you're apologizing or showing gratitude, these words remind people they're valued. And you don't need to say much, just the right thing. Like, thanks for your understanding, or that wasn't intentional. Those lines hold space for honesty and compassion. In English, politeness isn't about being formal, it's about being genuine. And when your words carry that feeling, people feel it.
Yes, and especially in today's fast-moving world, these simple moments of politeness really stand out. Whether you're texting a coworker or saying sorry to a stranger, phrases like I owe you one or please accept my apology show respect, and that earns respect in return. It's never about being perfect. It's about being kind, being clear, and being present. The more naturally you use these phrases, the more confident and warm your English becomes.
To everyone listening, if you take just one thing from this segment, let it be this. Your words have power. A simple thank you can make someone's day. A soft apology can heal tension. So don't be afraid to say, I really mean it, thank you. or it's been a pleasure. These aren't just lines to memorize. They're ways to build real relationships through real English. And we believe in you every step of the way.
Let's be honest, so much of our English actually comes out during the most normal parts of the day, like right after you wake up. One thing I always say in the morning is I've got a packed day ahead. It helps me mentally prepare, and it's something you can share with a coworker or a friend. And right after that, just grabbing a quick breakfast. Whether you're texting someone or explaining your routine in English, these small lines are useful. Then there's I'm heading out the door. It's quick, it's casual, and it's exactly what native speakers say when they're about to leave.
And once your day gets going, it doesn't take long before you're deep in tasks. I find myself saying, I've got meetings all day. It sounds natural and keeps others in the loop, especially if you're trying to manage expectations. Then maybe midday, you finally breathe and say, taking a short break. That one's so real and honestly necessary. Another little gem I use a lot is time for some fresh air. Whether you're talking to yourself or texting a friend, it's a refreshing way to show you're taking a moment to step outside and reset.
Yeah, and when the day starts winding down, I often say, let's wrap things up. That one's great for work meetings, study sessions, or even just signaling that you're done for the day. And of course, at night, I'm getting ready for bed. That phrase is soft and familiar, perfect for casual chats with friends or checking in with family. But sometimes when I'm totally drained, I just say I need to recharge. Not just sleep, I need space, quiet, recovery. That's the beauty of these phrases. They aren't dramatic, but they say so much in just a few words.
Exactly. And as someone who lives by lists, I can't go through a day without saying, let me check my to-do list. It helps me stay grounded. Then after finishing a task, that satisfying moment comes, just finishing up some work. It feels good to say out loud. And when the laptop finally shuts, I often say, time to log off. It's not just about closing the computer, it's about mentally stepping away from the day. These phrases help you mark moments, the start, the middle, and the end. That's what gives structure to your day and rhythm to your English.
And those rhythms really matter. One habit I built recently is setting up for the next day before going to bed, and I often say, I'm setting my alarm. It's such a basic line, but when you say it in English daily, it becomes second nature. After dinner, I like to wind down. A habit I really enjoy is evening walks, and I usually tell people I usually go for a walk after dinner. It sounds peaceful, and it's a great phrase when you're talking about your lifestyle or building routines with others. These small moments of conversation are where English fluency really lives.
That's the thing. It's not about big, dramatic speeches. It's the little phrases that show how you move through your day. Like when you're totally done and you just say, let's call it a day. That line feels like closure. It's calm, confident, and mature. It doesn't scream, I'm fluent, but it sounds fluent, and that's what matters. These daily phrases, from grabbing breakfast to logging off, are what make your English feel real. They're simple, but they're the backbone of everyday conversation.
Exactly. And if you're ever wondering where to start improving your English, start with your routine. Say these things out loud as you go through your day. I've got a packed day ahead. Time to log off. I'm getting ready for bed. The more you say them, the more natural they feel. And one day, without even realizing it, you'll be thinking in English, not just translating. That's where fluency truly begins, in the ordinary moments that make up your life.
So true. And to everyone listening, you don't need a perfect accent or a long vocabulary list to sound fluent. You just need the right phrases at the right times. These 15 lines can help you start and end your day in English. Use them, repeat them, make them your own. Because when your language fits your life, it becomes yours. And we're so proud to be walking this journey with you, one sentence at a time.
Now that we've explored daily routines and conversations, let's shift gears and talk about something we all face: problems and how we describe them. Whether it's work stress, personal challenges, or simple daily hurdles, we often need to express what's happening clearly in English. One phrase I use when something doesn't feel right is, something's not quite right. It's calm, but it opens the door to deeper conversation. Then there's, I've run into a problem. Direct, honest, and useful, whether you're speaking to a colleague or friend.
And when you're trying to understand what went wrong, you can simply say, let's figure this out. That one keeps the tone positive and solution focused.
Yeah, and sometimes it's about being open, even when things aren't going smoothly. A line I find really helpful is, I'm having a bit of trouble with this. It's soft but clear. You're not blaming anyone, just sharing what you're going through. Then, if something completely stops your progress, you might say, I'm stuck. It's a powerful word because it's vulnerable. And when you want someone to walk through a situation with you, just ask, can we talk this through? It's a respectful way to invite support, whether it's emotional or practical.
And you know what I love? When we go beyond just talking about the problem and start exploring the solution. That's where phrases like, let's try a different approach, really shine. It's a shift in mindset, from frustration to creativity. Another phrase that helps calm things down is, let's take a step back. Sometimes the best way forward is to pause, breathe, and reset. And when something seems complicated, you can say, it's more complex than I thought. That phrase lets you stay honest without sounding dramatic or overwhelmed.
Absolutely. And when you're trying to reassure someone or even yourself, you can say, we'll figure it out. That line brings hope, even in tough moments. Another one I use when things are still unfolding is, we're working on it. It shows progress, even if the solution isn't final yet. And when things do start coming together, you can proudly say, that solved the problem. A simple sentence that brings a huge sense of relief. These aren't just phrases, they're emotional tools. They help you navigate tension, manage expectations, and stay connected while dealing with difficulties.
Exactly, Ryan. And sometimes we face challenges that require negotiation, not just explanation. That's when a phrase like, we need to find common ground, is perfect. It's respectful and shows you're willing to listen. Or if you're offering a suggestion that may or may not work, try saying, here's one way to look at it. That line invites openness. And when you're finally able to move forward, you can say, let's move past this. It doesn't erase what happened, but it shows you're choosing progress over conflict.
And those kinds of phrases help relationships heal too. Sometimes the best thing you can do is say, let's not dwell on it. That line doesn't ignore the problem, it helps everyone release it. And when someone steps up to help you, a powerful sentence is, I appreciate you helping me sort this out. It combines gratitude with clarity. You're not just thanking them, you're acknowledging their role in solving the issue. These little lines help us move through messy moments with grace. And that's a skill every English learner should feel proud of.
So here's the big picture. Problems happen, but how we talk about them shapes everything. With these 15 phrases, you can express confusion, find solutions, and show leadership all in simple, natural English. Try them when things go wrong. Say them out loud during your day. Add them into your vocabulary, not just for exams, but for life. Because fluency isn't just about speaking perfectly. It's about staying calm, being kind, and finding the right words when things are tough.
And we're so proud of you for sticking with us through all 150 phrases. You're not just memorizing lines. You're building emotional intelligence, social confidence, and daily communication skills. Every one of these phrases gives you more control in English and more connection in life. So whether you're solving a tough problem or just saying, let's take a step back, remember this, your words matter and you're learning how to use them beautifully. And that's it for today's episode. 150 real-life English phrases you can actually use every single day. If you've made it this far, we just want to say how proud of you are. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and remember, fluency isn't about perfection. It's about progress, consistency, and staying curious.
Exactly. We're so grateful you chose to spend this time with us. These phrases aren't just words, they're tools for confidence, connection, and expression. Keep listening, keep learning, and please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you in the next episode. Until then, take care and keep speaking up.